Hi, this is Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. I'm gonna be reading it, so pay attention. Yeah, okay. Okay. Page 1. September. Tuesday. First of all, let me get something straight. This is a journal, not a diary. I know what it says on the cover, but when I went out to buy this thing, I specifically told her to get the one that didn't say diary on the front of it. Great. All I need is for some jerk to catch me carrying this book around and get the wrong idea. Sissy! And then punch them. The other thing I want to clear up right away is that this was Mom's idea, not mine. But if she thinks I'm going to write down my feelings in here or whatever, she's crazy. So just don't expect me to be all dear diary this, and dear diary that, and dear diary this, dear diary that. The only reason I agreed to do this is at the only sorry. The only reason I agreed to do this at all is because I figured later on, whenever I'm rich and famous, I will have better things to do than answer people's stupid questions all day long. So this book is gonna come in handy. Gregory, tell us all about your childhood. Were you always so smart and handsome? Here's my journal. Now, shoo shoo. Like I said, I'll be famous one day. But for now, I'm stuck in middle school with a bunch of morons. And there's a picture of morons. Let me just say for the record that I think middle school is the dumbest idea ever invented. You got kids like me who haven't hit their growth spurt yet, mixed in with these gorillas who need to shave twice a day. Out of my way, what? And then they wonder why bullying is such a big problem in middle school. If it was up to me, grade levels would be based on height, not age. But then again, I guess that would mean kids like Gurge Goopa would still be in the first grade. Today is the first day of school, and right now we're just waiting around for the teacher to hurry up and finish the seating chart. So I figured I might as well write in this book to pass time. By the way, let me give you some good advice. On the first day of school, you gotta be real careful where you sit. You walk into a classroom and just plunk yourself down at any old desk, and the next thing you know, the teacher is saying, I hope you all like where you're sitting because these are your permanent seats. Yeah, that's what he says. So in my class, I got stuck with Chris Hosey in front of me and Ronald James in the back of me. Jason Brill came in late and almost sat to my right, but luckily I stopped that from happening at the last second. Is this suit taken? He says, yes, yes. Next period, I should just sit in a bunch of hot girls as soon as I step into the classroom. But I guess if I do that, it just proves I didn't learn anything from last year. Greg, will you please pass this note to Shelley? Why, certainly. And on the note it says, Greg is a dork. Man, I don't know what is up with the girls these days. It used to be a whole lot simpler back in elementary school. The deal was, if you were the fastest runner in your class, you got all the girls. And in 5th grade, the fastest runner was Ronnie McCoy. Nowadays, it's a whole lot more complicated. Now it's about the kind of clothes you wear, or how rich you are, if you have a cute butt or whatever. And the kids like Ronnie McRoy are scratching their heads wondering what the heck happened. The most popular boy in my grade is Bruce Anderson. And the thing that really stinks is that I have always been into girls. But kids like but kids like Bruce have only come around in the last couple of years. I remember how Bruce used to act back in elementary school. Girls are stinky poops. Yeah. I don't think girls are stinky poops. And that's what Greg said. But of course, now I don't get any of the credit for sticking with the girls all this time. Like I said, Bruce is the most popular kid in our grade, so that leaves the rest of the guys swirling for other spots. The best I can figure is that I'm somewhere around the 52 or 53rd most popular this year. But the good news is I'm about to move up to one spot because Charlie Davis is above me and he's getting his braces next week. I tried to explain all this popularity stuff to my friend Rowley, who was probably hovering over right around the 150 mark, by the way. But I think it just goes in one ear and out the other with him. Wednesday. Today we had PE. So the first thing I did when I got outside was sneak off to the basketball court to see if the cheese was still there. And sure enough, it was. That piece of cheese has been sitting on that blacktop since last spring. I guess it must have dropped out of someone's sandwich or something. After a couple of days, the cheese started getting old and moldy and nasty. Nobody would play on the basketball court where the cheese was, even though that was the only court that had a hoop with a net. Then one day, this kid named Darren Walsh touched the cheese with his finger, and that's what started this whole thing called the cheese touch. It's basically like cooties. If you get the cheese touch, you're stuck with it until you pass it on to someone else. The only way to protect yourself is to cross your fingers so that whoever has the cheese touch can't touch you. But it's not easy remembering to keep your fingers crossed every moment of the day. I ended up taping mine together so they'd stay crossed all the time. I got a D in handwriting, but it was totally worth it. This one kid named Abe Hall got the cheese touch in April, and nobody would even come near him for the rest of the year. This summer, Abe moved away to California and took the cheese touch with him. I just hope someone doesn't start the cheese touch up again, because I don't need that kind of stress in my life anymore. Thursday. I'm having a seriously hard time getting used to the fact that this summer is over and I have to get out of bed every morning to go to school. My summer did not exactly get off to a great start, thanks to my older brother Roderick. A couple of weeks in summer vacation, Roderick woke me up in the middle of the night. He told me I slept through the whole summer, but that luckily I woke up just in time for the first day of school. You might think I was pretty dumb for falling for that one, but Roderick was all dressed up in his school clothes, and he set my alarm ahead to make it look like it was morning. Plus, he closed my curtains so I couldn't see that it was still dark out. After Roderick woke me up, I just got dressed and went downstairs to make myself some breakfast, like I do every morning. But I guess I must have made a pretty big racket, because the next thing I knew, Dad was downstairs yelling at me for eating Cheerios at 3 in the morning. Took me a minute to figure out what the heck was going on. After I did, I told Dad that Roderick had played a trick on me, and he yelled. Well, he was the one who was supposed to be getting yelled at. Dad walked downstairs to the basement. I tagged along. I couldn't wait to see what was coming Roderick. But Roderick covered up his tracks pretty good, and to this day I'm sure Dad still thinks I have a screw loose or something. Friday. Today at school we got assigned 2 reading groups. don't come right out and tell you if you're in the gifted group or the easy group. But you can figure out right away by looking at the covers of the books and they hand out. One is Easton as a child and it has a math problem that's impossible to solve. And another one says Vinky says boo. I was pretty disappointed to find out I got put in a gifted group because that just means a lot of extra work. When they did some screening, whenever they did some screening at the end of the last year, I did my best to make sure I got put in the easy group this year. Fred picked up a the book. Thanks. Mom is real tight with our principal, so I'll bet she stepped in and made sure I got put in the gifted group again. Mom is always saying I'm a smart kid, but I just don't apply myself. But if there's one thing I learned from Roderick, it's to set people's expectations really, really low, so you end up surprising them by actually doing nothing at all. Roderick, I want your dirty underwear off the kitchen table before I get home from work. Alright. Later, the underwear's gone. That's all I'm gonna be reading today. I hope you enjoyed the first part of the book. I'm going to be doing the second part in just a few minutes. I'm just gonna go get a water bottle and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this first part. Thank you.